Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be showing you the Ferrari SF90 Stradale at Golden Max in Asphalt 9 multiplayer. As I do not own this car, Yogg Saron, who some of you may know from the ESL tournaments, has given me some races in his Golden Max car, and we're going to see today how it does. Please consider subscribing if you have not already, and be sure to check out my Furum Clips channel as well as my Purple Team Discord. You'll find the links to those in the description, and I hope you enjoy these races. So I made a video a while back about the SF90 Stradale in its own multiplayer season, but I wanted to see how it would do in regular multiplayer against some of the more recent kings, I guess, to come to the game. You see, there's going to be a lot of cars like the VENOMS F5 and the Bugatti Chiron throughout this video that we're going to see how this often considered to be pretty bad, I suppose, S-Class car might do against them. And why I say it's sometimes considered to be pretty bad is because its speed is the slowest in all of S-Class. And so if you've never really seen it used, you're going to think that it's going to be very uncompetitive. But what I've found while watching Yogg Saron play is in the hands of a skilled driver, it can do pretty good oftentimes. You see, this is only possible because the rest of the SF90 Stradale stats are very good. It has the 8th quickest acceleration in the game of above 86, it has the 4th best handling in the game of above 90, and its nitro at 71 is very good as well. In this first race, Yogg Saron beat a Koenigsegg Jesko as if it was nothing. Now, obviously, the Jesko was catching up throughout the race due to its much higher top speed, but the SF90's really good handling and acceleration allowed it to get pretty far ahead in the beginning, and thus it was not enough for the Jesko to catch up. This is also obviously partially due to the fact that the US Midwest is a more twisty track, and there's not a whole lot of places where the Jesko could really stay at its very high top speed for a sustained amount of time. The SF90 Stradale, with its really good handling and everything, is able to stay at its granted somewhat mediocre top speed for pretty much all of the track. And in the second race, we're also going to be on US Midwest again. But this time, there is a Hennessy VENOMS F5 directly behind us. Yes, the new fastest and best car in the game that has a top speed about like 100 miles per hour faster than the SF90. You can see that he's almost off the map now, but then you'll be able to see that due to that much higher top speed, he catches up so extremely fast throughout the section such that you wouldn't believe. And this is really the SF90's weak spot. If you get in any section like this where a car like the VENOMS can sustain its top speed for a long amount of time, it's not going to be pretty, but it still was an extremely close battle at the end, even though the VENOMS did pull out in the end the victory. It was only by a frame or two and a very close battle. And now again, in this race, Yogg is facing the same VENOMS F5, as well as not just a second, but a third F5 as well. Yeah, there's 3 VENOMS F5s in this race, which is not something to be taken lightly on a track like Nevada, where the VENOMS do have a pretty good shot of catching up throughout, say, this bridge section here. Of course, with the SF90's really great acceleration, he's able to get ahead in the beginning, but oh my goodness, how in the world did he not wreck there? Yeah, apparently Yogg gives tank capacities to cars when he drives them, or maybe it's just weird physics. We will never know, but in any case, that certainly saved him from losing a lot of time in this race, even though, as we see, 2 of the VENOMS have gotten quite far ahead. But not all hope is lost. You see, one of them knocked the other one down. The one actually that was in the previous race knocked the other one down, and then he went the long way. And then the guy who knocked down went the same way as the SF90 Stradale. The thing is, because the SF90 has better handling just overall and is able to keep better speed around the turns than the VENOMS, he was able to get pretty far ahead of him there. And then, because the other one went the long way and didn't quite have enough speed to catch up at the end, yeah, Yogg Saron beat 3 VENOMS F5s on Nevada. I honestly don't know what to say to that. Just kudos to him, man. In this next race, Yogg is on Rome against, again, a VENOMS F5. Now, as you guys know, Rome is obviously more of a twisty track than Nevada, so if he can beat 3 on Nevada, imagine what he can do on Rome. One of the reasons I wanted to make this video is because recently we have gotten a lot of cars in Asphalt 9 that are more agility oriented rather than top speed oriented, and I just wanted to kind of show that if you know how to drive them and you get the right tracks, they can still actually do fairly well against some of the higher top speed cars at times, especially if the people driving the higher top speed cars might not know the best tactics or maybe get into some unforgiving situations where it might be difficult to stay at higher top speeds. Typically though, as you've seen countless times throughout this video, the general way these races go is that the more agile car will get ahead in the beginning, maybe even off the map, and then the higher top speed cars like the Venom, Yesco, etc. will just start catching up all throughout it, and the real tell is, okay, whether you can actually stay ahead of them by the time you get to the finish line or not, which oftentimes has to do with whether they make a mistake, as would happen in this race, or in previous races, if there's some really long straight section where they can just catch up and there's not really much you can do about it. Now we're moving on to a track that does have some of the longer sections where the Sharon and the Rimac in this race might be able to do some work. Then we also have a Vanda in this race too, which if you count its Perfect Nitro speed boost actually has somewhat similar stats to this SF90. And then of course the Sharon passes us right at the beginning, and then the Rimac passes us too. What else is new, to be honest? Some of you have probably noticed recently that my video upload schedule hasn't been quite as frequent as it usually is. Well, that has been that for the past several months I've been studying for my third actuarial exam, IFM, and just on Monday, I finally passed it after so much time studying for it. And before people ask in the comments what this is, what this all about, essentially, there's a bunch of exams you have to take in order to become an actuary, which a lot of people, again, don't know what it is. So they typically do risk analysis for insurance companies or consulting companies, and you have to take a bunch of exams in order to get fully credentialed. Now, you only need 2 or 3 of the 10 total exams in order to get a job, and I also have an actuarial internship coming up this summer at an insurance company, so I feel pretty good about my chances after graduation in about a year. So yeah, it's extremely important to me, and so that is why I've been pretty much focusing all of my time recently on that. But, of course, I didn't want to let you guys down, still wanted to post every so often, and now, because I have 3 exams passed, I don't really have any more need to pass more before graduation. I might still go for another one at some point, but that won't be at least until after my internship, after this summer, because whether I take it or not will kind of be based on whether or not I get an offer letter from them, but that's a whole nother story. The point is that I finally passed my exam, and I can get back to making videos again more frequently. So thank you all for understanding, and I hope to get through my, granted, somewhat big backlog of videos to upload. And now it's time for my general review of the SF90 Stradale. It's not as bad as people think. It is the slowest S-Class car, but the rest of its stats make up for that if you get a track that is good for it, such as Rome. And so when it really comes down to it, it's a largely track-dependent car, especially if you get things like Yescos and Venoms in the race. But in almost any track, you'll be able to put up a decent fight, except for like Himalayas, probably, which you don't really have much chance on. But other than that, I would say that, yeah, this car is slightly underrated. And if you were one of the few able to get it at high stars, I definitely recommend checking it out again. So guys, thank you all so much for watching, and big thank you to Yogg Saron for these races. Please do like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt, Forza, Minecraft, and other games content. And I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye, everyone!